Good day. My name is Ashni Durga Prasad and I am a speech language pathologist. I graduated at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in 2015. Since then, I've went on to work in the public sector. I have extensive knowledge and have worked with many children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
Hi, my name is Lindy and I work at the Care Center, which is an autism center based in Johannesburg. I work in the Occupational Therapy department with learners that are diagnosed with autism and they are aged 18 months to 18 years of age. So I will be explaining what occupational therapy is and the role that it plays.
I currently work at the Center for Autism Research and Education. I've been working with children with autism for many years and have had experience both in private and government facilities, including schools, healthcare facilities, and NGOs.
And children with autism have challenges with communication and social skills. So they have also repetitive behaviors and restricted interests amongst the communication skills. When we speak communication is a broad section. So what we mean, we say communication, it includes understanding language, talking, reading, and writing. And those are all of the things that we need to use language. A child with autism will have challenges, they will or they may not have challenges in understanding and using gestures like pointing and waving. So hello, goodbye, pointing to a cup or pointing to plate, understanding and using words, following directions such as please pass me the cup or look here or give me that, having conversations with other children as well. Children with autism lose early words. It's hard for others to understand what they are trying to communicate, and they are also repeating words or phrases that they just heard or that they heard days earlier or weeks earlier. This is called echolalia. Echolalia can be immediate or delayed.
Occupational therapists help people to be as independent as possible in the activities of daily living through activities or adaptations to the environment. We also help advocate and educate people in their communities so that they are more accepting to people who have disabilities. In terms of occupational therapy and autism spectrum disorder, we mainly work on the sensory systems and help assist people who have difficulties in processing sensory information. We also work on developmental milestones and activities of daily living, as well as academic progress. We also help families to understand the difficulties that their children with autism face, so that they are more accepting and are able to understand how to adapt their child's environment or be more accepting if they see certain behaviors. It's very important that parents understand the sensory needs of their children with autism.
Allow your children to be physically active at home, whether you have a trampoline or a big yard. You can allow them to run around, or they can have activities that are aimed at getting them to complete something or reach a specific goal, so they understand the aspect of task completion. But always make sure you structure all these items in a way that will benefit them. So if you are doing a crawling activity and you are meant to score in a form of bucket or something where they're supposed to take all the tennis balls, crawl, take all the tennis balls and score them in a bucket. Then what you can do is allow them to use both sides of their bodies to crawl and position the tennis balls where then they will be required to use more strength and where their endurance will be encouraged, and where also it's a little bit difficult for them to reach, but you want to push them to a point where they're able to do that, even if it's like in a steep hill or higher, something higher, where they have to climb on things, where they have to crawl for longer periods, where they have to roll over or they have to crawl under something. You just make it fun for them, but you know that you are also fulfilling the physical aspect as well as the sensory aspect, because as they're crawling, they're applying pressure on all the limbs of their body and the joints within their bodies. So everyday activities are high benefits for parents, and encourage your children to be independent. I know it's not easy as a parent because we have time pressures, but I advise that you allow your children to be independent. It's hard to watch them feed themselves in the way that they do, especially if they struggle, but do maybe 5 steps of their activity and let them do the last one and then grade it.
Speech therapists help the person learn to use AAC if they need help communicating. AAC is an augmentative and alternative communication device. This is basically used for children who are nonverbal, so children who have not yet started speaking or children who have no verbal output. Maybe a child has not started talking yet, so they use an AAC device. It could be a high technology device such as a tablet, or it could be a low technology device such as a communication board with pictures. Speech therapists either work with a child alone, depending on how severe the child's communication disorder is, or in groups. So groups are also beneficial because they help practice their skills with others in the same group. Depending on the child's needs, speech therapists can also work on some of the skills like getting along with others in a variety of settings: home, the playground, school, using appropriate communication behaviors to communicate, such as your manners, thank you, please, yes, no, taking turns in conversation where we allow the child to wait before it is their turn and not just blurt out speaking or speaking over another person, transitioning from one task or setting to another, and accepting change and expanding interests, such as trying new foods, because we know children with autism have difficulty with accepting change. Parents should also be encouraged to prompt new communication skills by verbal cues and also physical guidance, where you physically take the child's hand to point to a picture such as this is a cup, or this is water, or this is food. It's important to allow the child to communicate independently. You can either do this by waiting 1 or 2 seconds before using a prompt, such as your physical guidance, as I mentioned, in order to give the child an opportunity to communicate independently. It's also important to expand the strategies and use it in different settings and with other people, and not only limit it to the home environment. You can expand by adding new words to phrases that children already know. For an example, if your child says biscuits please, you can add a word, want biscuits please. You can use these strategies during a child's everyday activities such as brushing their teeth, having their lunch, dressing, or during meal times. With regards to how soon therapy can start, early intervention is extremely important and is the most critical period of language development. Children who are diagnosed with autism at a very young age should be referred to a speech therapist to start therapy as soon as possible. With regards to services, I run a mobile practice where I do home visits in different areas and locations around Johannesburg. My website and my contact details will be listed. Please do contact me should you require a speech and language assessment for your child. And some words of encouragement for moms or for parents is to stay positive and motivated. You are not faced alone on this journey. There are therapists, there are teachers, psychologists, counselors. There's many support groups and friends, as well as family who will guide you through this journey. Always remember that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel, and the effort you put in now for your child will assist them at the end. I hope that was helpful. Thank you.
And our center is accessible through social media. We have social media pages, Instagram, which is the care center. We have Facebook, which is also the care center, and we have a website, which is thecarecenter.co.za, and you can find us at 30 Raglan Street in Johannesburg, and we are open from 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. You're more than welcome to come to inquire, or you can go through our social media pages or website and then drop us an email at info@thecarecenter.co.za. Thank you.